All right, what's poppin' YouTube? We're going to be talking about why 90% of modern relationships fail. And the main reason is because 95%, we're just going to throw percentages around, don't take them literally, but this is just based off like observation and like looking at people that we know and how like the relationships are all failing. And the main reason is the polarities are just totally fucked. You know, we've talked a lot about the polarities in recent videos, but this one we're going to be focused only on the polarities and like how traditional relationships have lasted so long. Like you see your grandparents still together after 70, 80 fucking years sometimes because the polarities and the frames have been set and each person knows their job. You know, it's kind of just like how it has always been until recently. The system has kind of corrupted the minds of everyone, kind of trying to confuse everybody so that we stop reproducing. At the bottom of everything, their goal is so that everyone stops reproducing and the population plummets. So it'll make sense why they do what they're doing when you understand like that's their main goal is to stop getting people to have babies. We'll talk about that in the video, but what we're going to be focusing on is how the dynamic needs to be masculine and feminine. Now, I don't really know anything about like the LGBTQ relationship, so it's not really about that. It's kind of just about like heterosexual relationships that if you want them to work, you need to set a frame each like, because let's just get into it. So Sabrina, what about me attracted you on like a psychological, biological level? You know, like just go.
Well, when we're talking about masculine energy, I think that a lot of masculine energy, has to do with being able to pursue a girl. So, like, when I met you and I, first met you and stuff, I mean, I wasn't just going to give it all up right away because I wanted to see if you would pursue me, which you did. Mm-hmm. And so you, actively talked to me and wanted to get to know me, take me out, do things with me, whatever. And that is part of masculine energy, because if a guy is just not doing anything to pursue you, he either A, is not interested in you for anything beyond sex, or he's just not in his masculine energy, or he's just he's not interested. So when a guy's in his masculine energy, he's going to actively pursue you. And that's why it's so messed up these days, because so many girls are doing everything. They're chasing all the guys. They're well, maybe if I text him again, or maybe if I go find him here, or maybe if I send him this paragraph, or maybe if I do this and this and this and this. And it's if he's not the one pursuing you, he's not interested in you, or he's just putting you in your in your masculine energy, because by doing all that all that work, it's putting you in your masculine energy. But so that's part of it. And then another part is because I know that you work hard and you're determined and focused on making something out of yourself, which is another huge part of masculine energy, because a guy who's sits around all day and does nothing but eat chips and play video games and whatever, that is not being in your masculine energy. And the masculine is supposed to enjoy solving problems and enjoy doing and working and making things,
providing.
So yeah, and providing and just all of that. So if the person you are with or want to be with is just lazy and has no ambition to do any of those things, then that's not masculinity, and it's also just not attractive. And if you find it attractive, it's probably because you're in your masculine energy. So yeah.
Damn. So we're going to touch on feminine energy after just a quick little recap of masculine energy, because a lot of people don't really understand the polarity. So the masculine is essentially supposed to be centered, supposed to be kind of the one calling the shots, so that the feminine can kind of relax in your presence. You're supposed to be driven by purpose and providing. So it's my biggest purposes in life are my dog, my business. As much as Sabrina wants to be the biggest purpose of my life, she can't be. You know, it's you're a priority, but you can't be my biggest priority. You know, it's because if that becomes the case, then I start living for you rather than like for myself, for my business, for my dog, for my family, you know. It's like, and if that's the case, you see a lot of dudes do it, you know. It's like with our friend Eric, you know, like he just dropped his purpose, dropped everything he had for him to go like on a vacation with this girl for a month and a half, and she became unattracted to him because she was in the masculine. She was calling the shots. She was like, let's go here. He dropped everything, and then the frame was totally shattered because he dropped his purpose for this girl. This is what happens in high school relationships, young love, you know. The guy will become infatuated with the girl that they use their virginity to, likely, and they become attached because they start hyperfixating on like, oh my God, this is the one. I'm going to get married. So what you need to do is kind of get rid of the idea of the one. If you're not in a relationship right now, get rid of the idea of the one. There's this thing called one-itis where you get incredibly attached to the idea of one person, almost driving you sick because you totally disregard everybody else, all the other options, because you have one-itis. You think like, no, it has to be this person. And a lot of the times it's your ex. You're thinking about like, oh my God, I'm not going to get them back. You feel like shit. You're dwelling. You're wasting time. So the masculine needs to be able to call the shots. The feminine needs to be able to relax. Like I pretty much choose a majority of things. There's obviously some things that you have to choose, but like a lot of the times, and there are some times where like I'll ask Sabrina, I'm like, what does she want to eat? And she's like, yeah, and I'm just like, all right, well, I'm picking, because I know that like you would be happy because a girl doesn't want to have to think, you know, like a girl needs to wants to like preserve their energy and nurture. That's feminine right there. It's like really nurturing, caring. So I got Bear as a test for Sabrina to see if she could be a good mother, and she could be a good mother. She takes care of Bear very well. So that was my test. But anyway, if you're a man, your purpose needs to come first, and if you don't know what your purpose is, your purpose should be to find your purpose, right? All right. So feminine energy. What attracted me to? You have anything you want to touch on with masculine energy at all?
Just like what you said, but I also think that like a part of a man's purpose is like providing. So like for his family or for like
yeah, that's what I said, that right?
Yeah, just that, and like don't be like singled in on one person, because you have to know that there's like a million people or billions of people that are on this earth, and so like if one person didn't treat you right or it didn't work out, like just know that you don't need to put all of your energy into that, and it's like you should focus it on, like Alex said, your purpose, but also like don't just like mess up something good and just be like, oh well, it's just like there's plenty of other fish in the sea, you know. Just like, I don't know, just focus on like, I don't know what you were just saying.
Well, you can't ask a fish how to catch fish, you know. I
don't know.
You gotta think abundantly. That's the thing. Like, there are plenty of girls out there that you're compatible with. That's the reality of the situation. You know, there are plenty of guys out there that you're compatible with, right? Like, you just thinking abundantly doesn't just go with like money or like happiness. You know, it's like thinking abundantly in every aspect of your life. Like, that's what makes relationships so like beautiful. Because there are a bunch of people we're compatible with, but we chose each other. You know, it makes it even more special. But like, you can't. That's mostly for people that are like thinking scarcely, thinking that they've lost someone or that they need someone, when reality is like there's 8 billion people on the planet. There's so many people that you are compatible with, but it's just like finding the one that is most compatible with you at that given moment. Yeah. Right? Yeah? Yeah?
I agree.
Okay. All right. So feminine energy. What attracted me to Sabrina, other than the fact that you're beautiful, is how nurturing you are. Like, you really embody the feminine. You know, it's like, I remember when we first kind of started talking, I had that big NFT event, and that was stressing me the fuck out. Like hundreds of thousands of dollars on that event. I'm just looking at my credit card bill. I'm like, holy fuck, Sabrina. Like, you just saw me stressing, and like, you didn't really like try to fix a problem or anything. You were just there, and you were just nurturing me and like caring for me. So that really, really like attracted me, because I was like, wow, like I can kind of like feel comfortable around her. And then I took you to Hawaii, and we didn't fight at all, and we lived together for a month. So your emotional intelligence, another feminine trait, is like not just like being reactive, but understanding yourself on an emotional level. You cook. That's fucking awesome. Really fucking awesome. And I feel like a lot of like the world that we're headed in today, it's like almost like makes that like a issue when like a woman is like the known for cooking in the household, you know. It's like, how is that a thing, you know? It's like, I love that. Like there's nothing better than when I come home after like work or like jujitsu and you would have food for me. I'd be like, bro, this is fucking great. Or like when the house is clean, you know. It's because like that's how my parents grew up, you know. It's like my dad would work and my mom would clean the house and take care of the kids, and it's like obviously there's so many things, but it's just like really setting that like I'm gonna allow you to relax in your feminine. It's like you can relax, I'll call the shots, and like I accept my role of like providing, being the masculine, and being that grounded centeredness.
Yeah. Another huge part of feminine energy though is like the guy calls the shots and everything like that, because that's like part of masculine energy, but also feminine energy is a lot about setting boundaries, because if you don't have boundaries set,
that's divine feminine energy.
Yeah, like if you don't have boundaries set in place, then what do you stand for? Nothing. You're literally just a doormat at that point, so you're just gonna get like walked all over. And so like feminine energy is having the strength to say like, these are my boundaries, and like if you can respect them, then like that's great, but if you can't, then you have to like walk away basically, and know that like your feminine energy and what you bring to the table is like valuable. And yeah, just knowing that you like have to take care of yourself and protect your own like inner peace is a huge part of feminine energy, because feminine energy is about like being at peace in yourself and like you said, being relaxed. And if somebody is like walking all over you because you don't have boundaries set in place, then you're kind of just disrespecting yourself. And that's another reason why a lot of girls who just engage in like casual sex, it's like they kind of wish they didn't, because they like kind of wish they had that boundary set in place. And like guys will say anything to like get in your pants or to like get with you, like, so if you don't already have those boundaries set in place and you're just gonna be easily persuaded or easily like manipulated or impressionable, then that is another way that you are not protecting your feminine energy. So if you say, oh, I'm not gonna like sleep with this guy until this time, and you don't go through with it, then
he's gonna respect you less too.
He's gonna respect you less, and you're gonna respect yourself a lot less, which is the main component of feminine energy. And if you don't respect yourself, then how can a guy respect you? So yeah.
Beautifully said. And so to recap, men, you can take notes on like, okay, I need to embody this masculine energy to attract a girl that's in her feminine. Because a feminine girl, a high-value feminine girl, is not going to be attracted to a little boy. You know, like a high-value feminine girl will be attracted to a man who values his purpose, values his priorities, and he doesn't party every fucking weekend. He doesn't throw away his life with bullshit. But ground yourself, be the center one, be confident in your decisions. You have to be confident in your ability to be decisive. Because if you're not confident in your decisions, then why would your woman be confident in your decisions, you know? And then recap for the feminine, for the women.
Just really just focus on taking care of yourself and nurturing not only those around you who have earned your love, but nurturing yourself mostly. That is the most important thing, because like I said, if you don't already have self-love and the boundaries set in place for yourself, and you allow people to just walk all over you and disrespect your own inner peace, then you're going to be a wreck, and you're going to start taking that out on everybody else around you. And it's like, if you just go around giving your love to everybody who, like I said, disrespects your boundaries and whatsoever, it's not going to feel good, and then it's going to end up with you being in your masculine energy, because then you're going to be like worrying and having problems and trying to solve them. And yeah, so just focus on your wants and needs and put the boundaries in place, and focus on nurturing yourself and your own soul. And yeah.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. We leave for Aspen tomorrow. You excited?
I'm so excited.
Aspen skiing. We'll be vlogging, of course. So drop a comment what you thought about this video. Drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace.